I have a thought about socks that I wanted to share.
Okay.
I've come to this. I don't know. It's just like
Is it time to get a new one?
new sock.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Because I only use one. Don't even wash it. just rubbing crust everywhere. Gross.
It was fine until you said crust.
No, so I've like thought about like I find socks either they're extremely comfortable and comforting for me, or they're extremely restricting and uncomfortable. Like constricting, I should say.
In the middle of the night, you panic and take them off.
Yes. I actually no, I take them off before I go to. Well, I'll lie down in bed and then get under the covers. And I'm like, oh, I'm still wearing my socks. And then I'll take my socks off most of the time. And it's because I start to realize, like, oh my god, my socks are still on and they're suffocating me. Like literally, it's like it feels suffocated wearing socks. Then I take them off and I'm like, oh, okay, there we go. Now I can go to sleep. It's like, again, like, but during the day, I hate walking around the apartment without socks on. Like, I'm like wearing socks with my slippers. I don't even like to put it like slippers. I'll if I need to just go use the bathroom, I'll, no socks, slippers. What? Just
No, this was your golden ticket cold open.
yeah. Just sharing about me wearing socks.
Yeah. Is that all?
I could keep going, dude.
This is Tommy.
It's Jacob.
This is
Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Welcome back, everyone. This is TJ's mixtape. I'm Tommy. That's Jacob. We are usually a movie review podcast, but we're taking a break on movies today.
Yeah, we want to catch up on
Other things.
media that we've been taking in.
Yeah.
Whether new or old. Reminiscent. What we're looking forward to, maybe.
So, yeah.
Wow.
It's a grab bag.
Did you want to still do the connection?
Oh, no, I didn't do it. I'm sorry. I
Okay,
forgot.
that's fine.
We'll save it for
Next
our
week?
Our movie review next week.
A reminder for anybody, if that still wants to play.
I can't remember.
It's a Gal Gadot to Adam Sandler. It's a hard one. I got it, but it's a hard one.
Yeah, no, I'm just laughing at our closing out last night.
Oh,
or
last week.
Of
I'm just about talking about Gal Gadot.
Scooby-Doo. Go.
Oh, I forgot about that, actually.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So we brought it up a little bit at the beginning of our cold open last week. You've been playing Crimson Desert.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk a little bit about your experience with that and the multiple hours you put in of the maybe 0.001% of the game you've completed?
Yeah, my thoughts on it initially are still the same, and it's fun to see the internet changing their mind.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of, for anyone out there that doesn't know, there's a big game out called Crimson Desert, big open world fantasy RPG thing.
From a very small studio.
Yeah, well, Pearl Abyss is generally an MMO joint.
Yeah.
That's what
Okay,
they make.
fair.
What was it called?
Crimson Desert?
No, they're MMO.
I thought it was called Crimson Desert.
No, Black Desert.
Oh.
I think. But I started playing it and knew it was going to get a lot of hate, and then knew that once people really got into full swing of it, then it would get the love that it needed.
Yeah, on release. So it was projected to get like not like a super high rating, but like all investors were expecting like a rating in the 80%, mid 80s type thing. And I think when on release, it was like at 77, like a high 70. And a bunch of and their stock just plummeted. And now it's slowly going up.
I'm just curious what the Metacritic is on it currently.
Currently, yeah.
It's a 77.
77, yeah.
Well, based on 100 reviews.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's interesting. It's like I've noticed, just like in reading and following like updates with it and whatnot, that from release reviews have only gotten better because did they update the controls, or are the controls still all wonky?
They're wonky, but you learn how to.
You just get used to it.
Yeah, like any
Any game.
really. Yeah, it's just I don't know. Like my biggest complaint about the controls thing is just that it felt like they were just doing things to do it, as opposed to standard ideas of what an RPG is in this day and age and has been for the last like 10 years. They decided, you know what? This button is usually mapped to do this. We're not going to do that.
Well, that's how I felt like with Dark Souls when it first came out.
Well, and I felt that way with Ghost of Tsushima too for a bit, but this is pretty, to me, kind of dramatic.
Well, Ghost of Tsushima still had your basic attacks
That's
as
what I mean, yeah.
square and triangle, but then you had your different stances to go through. The Souls-like games, when your attack was switched to R1 and R2 for your heavy and light attack, my brain couldn't compute that.
I mean, that's how Crimson Desert is too.
It's R1, R2?
Yeah,
okay, I mean, I could get used to that. But because I was so used to every game, attack is either square or square or X.
Mm-hmm.
And heavy attack is maybe triangle and stuff like that.
Well, but it also has things that it's like, it kind of makes sense though too. Like your lock on and shield a block are the same button.
Okay, yeah. So it's like when you're shielding, you're locked onto something.
Yeah.
Does it stay locked on while you're not shielding?
Well,
or is it a hold that you have to do?
There's a hold, but there's also, if you are locked on, you press down on the D-pad, it will then lock on to that particular person.
Okay.
It's not very good for a big, because, you know, you've seen it too. There's fights where suddenly you're surrounded by like 15 guys.
Yeah.
It's not good for that, but it's really good for bosses.
No, yeah, of course. That makes sense.
Just one-on-ones.
But I mean, at least you have that, and I like that.
But they don't tell you that.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah. That's the biggest complaint. Is a lot of shit I learned about Crimson Desert was not from the game, like holding your hand at all, because it doesn't. It's just kind of like fucking figure it out. It's from Instagram and reels and stuff of people just being like, "Hey, I don't know. You know, there's always these 5 things you should do when you first start this game videos.
They're in-game tutorial type stuff, yeah.
But this game actually really needs it. Usually you're like, yeah, no shit, that's pretty obvious. But
is there not even like in the options of like, or does it like have like a list of like things you can do in like a moveset control thing? Or not control, but moveset. And then could you go through that in like one by one and do your own tutorial?
I guess so, but you think the game would just fucking
do that for you?
Yeah, and it just I mean, it's just the whole game starts off and you're Kirk, the main hero you play as, who gets fucking murdered, and then he just wakes up on the side of a fucking river with like no explanation on how. It's like he got stabbed and he like Boromir death, you know what I mean? Like this wasn't like a little oopsies. Like this is, he got his throat cut, stabbed a bunch of times, and then kicked into a fucking river. And then and then it cuts to,
I'm alive.
Well, and there's like some random dude that's like, you know, pretty beat up. Like, no, he was
Hello
dead.
there.
Yeah, and then like, no, he was dead. Like, and everyone else, and then you start like going around and collecting your old companions and stuff, and they're all like, "What the fuck? Like, how?" And you as the player, like, that's a good question. No idea.
That's kind of cool though. I like that for the story, where you're just like,
fuck if I know.
Yeah. And then, but that also that there's an immersive sense in that of like figuring out what's happened to the character. Obviously, you know, I'm sure actually I don't know. Has anybody beat the game yet?
I'm sure. I mean, I've seen some builds people have done. They look real end game.
Well, sure, but have they beaten it? Oh, fair. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know, like it feels like you don't have that armor unless you've beaten the game.
Fair.
And they're fucking got like wolf mounds.
And it's been out for a couple weeks. There's people that have definitely beaten it. I've been playing it like 24/7.
Yeah,
almost.
like that's their job.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But I guess what I'm saying, like the immersive, like you kind of wake up and you just don't know anything, and you don't know how to play the game, and you need to figure out how to be Kirk again, type thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I gotta say the game it reminds me the most of. There's been all of these comparisons because it is kind of like this is what happens when there's no one to tell a studio no, because of the amount of different mechanics and everything in there.
Yeah.
But it really does, at least in the world that you're transversing, really reminds me of Wild Hunt a lot.
I've never played that.
Witcher 3.
Oh, okay.
Because even for a game as old as that, that one still really stands up because the world feels very lived in, and it feels like you're actually. It's not like Shadow of Colossus, where it's like empty, or Skyrim, where it's like it's lived in, but it's they feel very NPC-y, like kind of robotic.
Oh, there's an arrow in my knee.
yeah. But the Wild Hunt and this have done a really good job of just making a really cool world where you're just walking around and just watching people interact with each other.
Yeah, okay.
So that's kind of the coolest thing I think is like, I was telling Jacob too the other day, I played for like 2 hours and I didn't do anything like quest or was just running around like
exploration.
Like, oh, look, and this guy sells honey.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Yeah.
Ooh, piece of candy.
And it was cool. I was like, that's really, and I have like barely scratched the surface of the gargantuan map that it is.
Yeah.
And all the different biomes and stuff. My only thing now is that I feel like is missing is monsters, which I don't know that's going to pop up later. I'm also trying not to watch too many things.
Well, I mean, if there's dragon riding, there's got to be monsters.
I know, I just haven't seen it yet. Which I just find as kind of odd. All I've been really fighting are bandits and stuff.
You haven't fought any goblins or anything like that?
I fought goblins, but they're members of the society. They're not like an
outcast
cannon fodder. They're just normal dudes.
I mean, so far all you've been presented is intelligent creatures to fight.
Yeah, like there's humans.
Or conscious, I guess, is the best.
It seems like it's humans, orcs, and goblins are like the three primary species.
Okay.
Goblins are, and the one goblins I really interact with are this group of merchants called the Gold Leaves. Gold Leaves.
It might be not very monster heavy in general. It might be more like consciousness, and then like you just have like animals that they can tame and stuff and whatnot.
I would think there
wild boars, wild bears.
I would have to say there must be monsters at some point, especially if it is going from Black Desert to Crimson Desert, because they were an MMO. So what did they fill up their space with MMO wise?
Yeah, that's I see what you're saying.
You see that train?
Yeah, I see your train of thought.
But no, I mean, I was lukewarm on it initially, but that was really because I just found the whole control scheme very odd. And they have this like the way they do their interface is kind of weird. Like that's the thing, the whole game is just kind of weird.
Well, what I've seen a reel recently that was like, this is the worst game I've ever played. That's the best I've ever had time with. Like it's the worst best game. It's the best worst game. Yeah, it's the best worst game I've ever played.
It's the best game that is terrible?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think it's terrible.
Well, just because of how
clunky it is.
Yeah, and all that stuff.
It's and honestly, and just it's probably way better on PC.
Possibly.
Like,
I mean, very
the amount of stuff they have crammed into that controller is actually kind of crazy.
Well, and like I guess the thing that I've been waiting to kind of like to get thought into, trying to formulate it, is since it's such a huge, there's so many different ways you can play the game and how you want to do combat and how you figure out the controls and figure out how to do what you do. That means each person kind of like has their own experience and their own game, their own style of how to play the game. So each person's going to experience the gameplay in their own unique ways.
Well, that, and then there's also, you can play as 3 different characters. I haven't even touched that. I'm not. I haven't even. I'm like, because it's like, there's Kirk, which is kind of like what you're saying, kind of do whatever way you want to. And then there's the woman Daphne, something like that. I can't remember. I just recently met her in the game. But she's very rapier and guns. There's guns, apparently, which that's cool. I keep getting bullets, still haven't found a gun, but whatever. I have a bunch of bullets and nothing to do with them.
Are they like pellet bullets?
Yeah, like little balls. And then there's like an orc character who just plays kind of like a tank. And they apparently also have not as extensive, but also their own skill tree that is pretty comparable to the main character, Kirk. No. I don't want to.
With those bullets, you should find a sling instead. I don't think it's guns. Maybe. Oh, you said the girl has a gun.
No,
the girl has.
No, yeah, and I did find a gun at a store, but I couldn't
purchase it.
Afford it. That's been kind of my biggest hard time is making money in that game. And I know there's a lot of like cheese ball cheating ways to do it, but I don't really want to do it like that.
Kind of like in Elden Ring, you get that cliff and the bird.
Yeah, like there are ways of doing that, but I don't really want to. There's one save scummy method that I might try, but just to see if it works.
Well, you are also bringing up like that players found this really like interesting way to like cheese a fly.
Yeah, like it was a way of basically getting up in the air and then doing like a forward sword thrust thing, and then that made it so you could kind of, without really using your stamina, stay in the air a lot longer. And I guess Pearl Abyss saw that players are having like a lot of fun with doing that, so they, instead of what most companies would do, go in and nerf it or take it out entirely, they actually made an animation and were like, oh, this is a cool way. They figured out, they kind of created this mechanic with the tools we gave them. Let's actually incorporate it into the game, and then made a different, like, so it's, as opposed to being this like clunky thing, it's a more fluid, like you spin and then lurch forward kind of flying thing. That was just cool, you know.
Well, I mean, it's really cool to hear about a studio like listening to their players.
Well, yeah,
you know, like that.
And Pearl Abyss apparently has been kind of like, I mean, they've had, and that's kind of a catch-22. They've had 2 big updates since the game's release, and that's kind of, you know, what people talk about, like how products are being sent out without actually being done.
Yeah.
But it's also like we do live in an age where it is kind of cool that you can go in and fix things post-release.
Well, and it's interesting.
It's like you're not gonna get another ET again, you know?
Yeah. I mean? Well, and like I would say, there's a lot of games that were released on like the 64 and like PlayStation. You know, before this like internet age where like an update can happen, that some games had just broken mechanics in it, and that's just how the game was, and you just had to deal with it.
Yeah.
But also, game development back then, coding, was nowhere near as complex as it is today. Well, and at such a massive scale of like a game as well.
Well, and then also what you're saying too kind of ties into about like people playing. There's so many people now that play video games.
Yeah.
The gamer population is just so much higher, so you're gonna have more hands in the pie finding ways to break things. Yeah. Because a lot of people too, I'm one of those, I like trying to break them.
Yeah.
Just seeing like,
you ended up falling through the map.
Yeah, it's a wild
infinite abyss. Yeah. Well, and that's why you get these like weird speed runs. Like if you watch Super Mario 64 speed run, you're breaking the game constantly. They're running through the map. They're like going in between the coding pretty much to beat the game in under like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and it's like
yeah. What you got to do is you got to like super run backwards as Mario, and then skip his butt into this wall, into this door. You'll break through that wall to get into Bowser's castle, and it's just like, who the fuck figured this out? It's like, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's like even like a game I have fond memories of. Dark Void was on the Xbox 360. That shit was a broken piece of shit, but it was really fun because it was so broken. Like that thing was not finished, like at all. But they went to ship it.
Oh, wasn't that like how Anthem was like that too?
No, Anthem's kind of a tragic. That's one that I'm really bummed out about. I don't remember Anthem being particularly broken. They just didn't pick up a community enough to keep it serviceable.
Oh, okay. I see.
Because Anthem was cool, you know. Oh, I mean, I guess their gun mechanics weren't great, but they were planning on doing basically like such a massive update. It was going to be a brand new game.
Oh, and
then
that just got
they just shelved it and said, "Never mind, we're not going to do that."
Like, speaking of broken, buggy games, I just finished Spider-Man 2, which it was so interesting. Like I didn't really notice. I was noticing the bugginess to it, but I just kind of disregarded it until I got like halfway through the game and I just noticed it was getting worse. Like where I'd be like in a raid of like fighting enemies, and all of a sudden there'd be a dude just floating in the middle of the ground, middle of the battlefield, just like shooting at me. I'm like, you're not even standing on anything. What is happening here? and then watching enemies get stuck in walls. And I was like, what the hell? And I looked up really quick. I was just like, Spider-Man 2 buggy. And like an entire Reddit thing of like Spider-Man 2 is one of the most buggy games I've ever played. All this stuff. Like, and it was like,
I don't really recall it being that buggy when I played
one
it.
of the things that I read was like at release, it was fine. And then when they did the New Game Plus update, the game broke.
Oh, so they did something in that.
Yeah.
Right?
And they never did another update to fix all of it.
Well, because they probably moved on to Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, yeah, it was just very interesting just to see, like, and what's really funny is, like, I looked at it, like, okay, that's okay, whatever. I mean, I'm going to keep playing it. And because also I really like the story of it, and I'll get into that in a second. But it was like, I read that, and then I'm flying around as Miles, and I'm having troubles getting around this, like, turn, and I just, like, wall swing into the corner of a building, and all of a sudden, I'm in the code.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the wall. I can see the world around me, but like I can't get through the wall, and I'm like crawling on nothing, and I'm just like, God damn it. Okay. And the first time it happened to me was the Coney Island mission, where you're like going around doing all of the fair games. I sat down on a bench and I couldn't stand back up. And like the conversation with MJ and Harry and Peter continued. But Harry and MJ were gone. So it was just Peter sitting on a bench going. And I'm like, okay, come on, stand up. Nothing. And I looked that up and just realized, like, okay, the Spider-Man 2 bench bug. And it's like, oh, yeah, don't sit on the bench, pretty much. I was like, just don't sit on the bench. Just don't sit on the bench. Okay, wow. And then the Mysterio little, like, drives that you get, I played it, and then I tried to like exit out of the map for it to play in the background, and it crashed the game 3 times in a row.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe I played it before that update.
You might have done that. Well, and that Mysterio one, you're not really one that's going to play all the thumb drives. You generally, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not like the note reader, like to get all of the nitty gritty lore. You know.
Well, it's in like a video back on the Crimson Desert thing on the story. There's this video of a guy going, what did he say? It was basically like, I've been playing Crimson Desert for about 30 hours, and I know fuck all about the story, but I think I'm having fun.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that feels about right.
And like Spider-Man 2, the only thing that kept me going playing it was the story, because it's unique.
It was a solid superhero tale.
Yeah, and the way that they're able to like delineate like how each character you play and like the importance of each role they have, especially in the end game, where it feels like each person kind of has their own boss battle as you move forward, and like fighting Venom as the main enemy. And the story itself, very Spider-Man, very superhero-esque. The only problem is that the game, and we talked about this the other day, it's pretty much the same game as Spider-Man 1 when it comes to gameplay and the missions and the side quests.
Yeah, I mean,
and the game itself is just so kind of hallway-y. Like when you enter into a mission, there's like, as I was walking around,
a lot of the same shit, just reskinned.
Yeah. And like one of the things that I like about, you know, even Resident Evil or the Uncharted series is when you're in a new area, the exploration, trying to, you know, like, oh, look, there's an item over here. There's collectibles, like Last of Us, collectible stuff.
Fallen Order.
Yeah, you know, little collectible stuff. And it's none of that. I mean, what it is instead, like in the main map, I'm finding the spider bots instead of the backpacks. I'm doing the fire missions instead of the Sable missions. I'm doing this instead of this from 1 to 2, even like from Miles Morales.
Well, I think that like kind of what the issue, because even like the Arkham series is kind of like that, but with each iteration, it basically just got bigger.
Yeah.
So it's like the first one is in Arkham, right? And you're locked in Arkham. Cool, fine. Then we're in Arkham City, and it's a little more open world.
Bigger, yeah.
Yeah, but then in the third one, they're like, you know what? All of Gotham is your playground. In fact, here's the Batmobile. Boom, have fun. And it's like that. And because those games are all identical, except they do have these little add-on stuff to it. but I don't know what kind of hit you could have, like swing you could have made with Spider-Man.
I mean, with Spider-Man 2, I think they were successful in adding more map.
Yeah.
Because you got all of Astoria, you got the west side of New York as opposed to just, Manhattan.
Yeah.
Or Manhattan. Is that the main island? I can't. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm bad with. I've never been to New York, so.
It's Borough 1's Borough 2.
Devil's Kitchen.
Little
Odessa. But
New York,
and like it did expand on like the gameplay mechanics. Like you have Miles Morales' extra abilities that get updated. You get symbiote Spider-Man and updated abilities with that. It's definitely like there's I liken it more to kind of how what they did between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, where the mechanics were kind of the same. It's kind of same gameplay, but your special abilities were just different.
Well, yeah, but even Wolverine. Have you seen any of that early trailer stuff for Wolverine?
Not in a long time.
It kind of just looks like a reskinned Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, but is it going to be? It's got to be multiple maps though. It's not just going to be like
no.
one
I mean,
area.
it kind of the one clip that's in my head is it looks kind of like New Mexico-y.
Yeah,
the kind of desert.
I understand what you're talking
about.
You know
what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like kind of flat,
hot,
westernish, Yeah. I don't know. I mean, because that other Wolverine game was really good, but it was just because the healing thing was cool.
And it's very clear they clearly should. Otherwise, it's just cliffhanger. A third one is gonna come out. There'll be Spider-Man 3.
Mainly just Miles.
I think it'll be
because didn't Peter
it'll
retire?
But I think it's gonna be Peter coming back, having to come back,
and then dying.
Possibly, yeah.
I think that's what.
Or they kill MJ. Because MJ does die.
That'd be cool. Kill MJ and then make him the final boss.
Well, I mean, okay. So this is the thing: is after the final fire mission, it alludes to
Cassidy, right?
Yeah, Cletus.
Yeah,
Carnage. Because he has a symbiote, and you never really get his name, but then like Yuri's talking about like all of his aliases, and one of them is Cletus Cassidy. And then you have at the end of in the post credits Norman going to Octavius at the raft and asking to know the identity of Spider-Man. And Ock.
Is it in the first Spider-Man that you fight the Sinister Six?
Yes. Yeah.
Man, that was cool.
Yeah. No, that was awesome.
On the raft, right? That's like a big prison break thing.
Yeah. And then what's interesting is how introducing in this one Kraven killing Vulture, killing Scorpion.
Yeah, that was crazy. You're like, oh.
Like these people are just Kraven's just dead too as well. So it's just also like it's like that can be a finite story with just 3 of them in a way, because we have like a lot of this rogues gallery getting knocked off.
Yeah.
And also Lee I liked Lee's redemption arc in this too. It was really nice.
They should do a Blade game.
But this is what I think they're going to lean to is the Red Goblin. I think Norman is going to become the Green Goblin.
That would be wild.
I know, but that would be fucking rad.
But that would... I mean, I guess, but I feel like we'd need to have introduced the Goblin already.
But no. Because I feel like the pacing of the storyline in this one was really good, and its lead up to Venom being at the very end, and that's Venom's only in what, maybe a quarter of the game,
maybe,
and it was impactful and it was good.
Well, the fact that you got to play as him too, definitely helped.
So
just because it really helped demonstrate his raw power,
yeah.
So when you fought him, that was a really smart move for them to do that. They didn't have to, but that's like one of the best sequels. That's just fun to fucking...
Well, it's kind of one of those things like, well, if Venom's going to be in the game, everybody's going to want to play as Venom, so,
Well, it reminded me of all those Hulk games,
Oh, yeah.
Where you're just fucking
wrecking shit.
Yeah, like, that would be another one that needs a fresh new one, a new Hulk game with today's, like, modern engines. Ugh. Full destruction, you know what I mean?
But I mean, so Spider-Man 3, yeah, it's definitely going to start out as Miles being the solo Spider-Man, but then it's going to be something like Osborn coming out or coming like is going to reveal himself as the Green Goblin, or he's going to turn Harry into the Green Goblin on accident.
What happens to Harry again at the end of the? What he just gets the symbiote taken away and that's it.
So he dies once the symbiote is ripped off of him, but then Miles saves him, resurrects his heart, and then he's taken to the hospital, and now he's just in a coma.
Okay, I can't really remember.
Yeah, and Norman is in shambles because his son's in a coma and he's paying the doctors.
Well, he turned him into a monster to try and save him,
and so Norman is on the verge. We're on the verge of getting a Green Goblin.
Yeah.
And whether it's Norman or him trying to save Harry with it, don't know. Probably going to be Norman. Makes most sense. Since Harry was already Venom, let's just have Harry be Venom and Green Goblin, and just
it would be weird.
Yeah.
But unless they do the new Goblin thing.
Yeah. Later. I think that would kind of bloat the storyline because where I'm looking at it is you introduce Norman becoming Green Goblin at the beginning.
Then make Harry become Red Goblin.
And then you have... Because
he already has an affinity for the symbiote.
That could be a thing. And then you also introduce Cletus becoming Carnage. And now you have these... That's just chaos right there for Miles, which would have to pull Parker out of retirement.
It'd be interesting to see if they somehow... So like Insomniac?
Mm-hmm. Insomniac.
Insomniac is making these superhero games now that we're talking about Wolverine and stuff. What would be kind of cool, I don't know what kind of contract they have with Marvel and everything, but it would be kind of cool if they did do MCU kind of thing. So then so Wolverine comes out and they use Wolverine as a vehicle to push for the Spider-Man plot a little more while it's still being his own story. But let's bring up some of this Green Goblin stuff to kind of, so that way when we get to the third installment, we've already had some building blocks leading to this. Yeah. It'd be interesting if they did that because then they could do that with everyone. They could do it with Hulk, they could do it with Blade. They have
an entire universe, Insomniac Marvel universe.
Yeah, which would be kind of cool if they just then followed, like we've always joked about DC not doing, just follow what the 10-year building block they did. That is the way, that's obviously the way to do superhero movies.
It's successful.
Take a second, take a beat, and lead up to things a little more. You don't just fucking Scooby-Doo-Doo!
Here's Superman, and he's already got everything.
Yeah,
But that is also a weird balance you got to find of not retelling the origin story too much while giving fresh stuff as well. Yeah. Which kind of makes me, think about the new Spider-Man trailer. And
still haven't seen it.
It feels fresh because it's interesting. They are gonna redo.
Should we take a break and should I watch it real quick?
If you want to, yeah. Do you want to just pull it up and I can edit a.
Yeah. Let's do that real quick.
And we're back. What do you think?
It feels like a lot.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot.
But I feel like how much this is definitely now what has become the problem. We've talked about this with the MCU is how much you have to watch to understand. Like this is a movie that you need to know Spider-Man's journey. You need to see all 3 movies and possibly Avengers to know what this movie is going to give you. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, but I don't think you need to watch the Avengers and stuff.
Maybe not
he's kind of such a bit part.
Well, I mean like the later, like Endgame, Infinity.
Yeah, but he's still such a big part to it. Like
maybe not Endgame, but Infinity War a little bit more.
Well, no, it just makes me nervous. Spider-Man 3 and now Spider-Man 3.
This is Spider-Man 4.
This is 4?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
This is Homecoming, No Way Home, and Homecoming, Far Away From Home.
Oh, but I don't really count the multiverse one and his solo trilogy thing.
What?
Well, are you talking about the Tobey Maguire, the multiverse one?
No Way Home?
Yeah.
That one's like the most important one because he gets everyone erased.
No, but I'm not. that's a big multiverse thing. That is to me more MCU than just Spider-Man because we have all this other crap going on, and Doctor Strange is a huge factor in that. Who does the whole thing? I'm talking about like him standalone as just him and just Peter Parker and Spider-Man. this is like the third one of him. And my point is that it makes me nervous about Tobey Maguire #3. Did this a lot? Feels like a lot.
Yeah.
And this feels like it's going to be a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because in that one trailer, he seems to be having conflict with Frank because Punisher has conflict with
That's probably
everyone.
just the cameo that we're going to get.
Yeah, that's the...
They're spoiling the cameo.
That's the Stan Lee for this one.
Yeah.
And then obviously Scorpion at some point makes an appearance.
Gargan.
He is dealing with that fucking turning into a spider mutation thing, which is that feels like that's what they're implying.
He seems like losing his powers somehow. Like,
and then he's going to be able to make webs on his own. Saw that in the trailer.
Oh, I didn't pick that up. Yeah.
So he's mutating, so he's going to be able to do like Toby, like now. And then a bunch of ninjas. The Foot Clan showed up.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like...
Shang-Chi stuff.
Is that what that is?
So in the comics, Shang-Chi teaches Parker...
After he loses his powers.
Martial art. Just how teaches the martial arts.
Yeah.
It's interesting because we've now gotten to this point how far the MCU has like gotten so far from like what the main story is for stuff in from the comics and whatnot, that now it's just, well, this happens with Parker at some point, so we can tell a story around that now here and use influences from the source material. Kind of like, and I did appreciate that with the game Spider-Man 2, is a reinterpretation of different lores and ideas, because the symbiote originally in the comic books comes from an alternate dimension during the Secret Wars, and then Sam Raimi introduced in the Amazing Spider-Man series that it was a meteorite that came from space. And they're doing, and I think the symbiote, the space thing has become the more canon thing.
Yeah.
But even though...
even the Venom movies.
Yeah.
Like that's how...
Exactly, yeah. And even though it's an alternate universe, that symbiote was still an extraterrestrial being not from Earth.
Well, they made it kind of a meteor, and then in the third one, Last Dance or whatever, they kind of touched on Null and being this interdimensional extraterrestrial being.
Interdimensional extraterrestrial.
Yeah. And I guess that's still there too.
I mean, they could tease some stuff with that as well.
Like they have been teasing that they're gonna cross over at some point. And like that whole thing that like Venom knew who Spider-Man was from another multiverse interaction.
He just knows it's the
hive mind thing.
The hive mind knows Spider-Man, therefore knows each Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Regardless of being erased type thing.
I want that to happen because I don't know why, but I feel like Tom Holland and Tom Hardy would be really funny together.
Yeah.
As like his
Eddie Brock
to his Peter Parker. Because like I mean that's I don't know, still that first movie where he's like crashing out and like gets in the lobster tank and everything, like that shit still makes me laugh. He's all looking terrible. That whole movie he looks like shit. Yeah. He's like,
he's having a nervous breakdown the entire time.
Yeah, he's got a parasite like feeding off of him
and talking to him.
Yeah, and talking to him in his own voice.
We need to eat.
Yeah. Chocolate. They're selling chocolate. Yeah, I don't know.
But I don't know. I'm excited for the new Spider-Man.
I mean, that makes sense. He's your guy,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have never gotten over my superhero fatigue.
Yeah.
It happened, and it's the same thing that happened with Star Wars too. It switched off and just never turned back on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still haven't seen Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
What's the other one that just came out?
Oh.
There's another superhero thing.
Marvel or DC?
I think Marvel. There were two, right?
Was there another one? I think Fantastic Four was the most recent. Well, new series Daredevil just came out on Disney.
I did get into that for a hot second, but then it felt like too much.
Yeah, I'm even just drawing a blank. What came out? I mean, Superman came out just before Fantastic Four.
Oh, that's the one. That's
Superman?
Yeah.
So okay.
DC, yeah.
Yeah.
Still haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah.
Like, I actually haven't ingested a solo Superman movie, and because I still haven't seen Man of Steel.
Yeah. Yeah, but you watched Peacemaker.
Yeah, but again, I don't know. That's like doesn't
feel like a
superhero because he's such a piece of shit. that to me is just that's Shameless meets DC. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just like watching him crash out. And even then, I tried watching Invincible, and I still was just same thing. I was just
Really?
like, I don't care anymore about fucking superheroes.
Do you think you're gonna try to give Lanterns a shot?
Yeah, I'm gonna give Lanterns a shot, mainly because out of everything right now, that feels like the most original interest, which is so stupid to say because it's based off a comic book. But right now, it feels
Original
like
take on something.
something that we haven't seen a lot of, especially live action wise. Like, you know, Green Lanterns just as a institution are institutional. You know, like they're a big factor in the DC world, and they're not really ever shown very much, haven't recently. You know, I mean, the last really good Lantern we got was probably Justice League Unlimited with Jon Stewart.
Yeah,
and he had some pretty solid arcs.
Yeah.
But it's like
there's a couple,
and then you have the Ryan Reynolds movie, which was
I still haven't seen,
which is fine. It's I really don't get what that movie out of all the crappy superhero movies, that one gets so much hate, and I don't really get why.
I think part of it gets so much hate is because Ryan Reynolds
acknowledges it.
Yeah, and he's constantly acknowledging it.
Yeah, so everyone's like, yeah, he is right. His movie did suck. I don't know. And I was really excited for that because Green Lantern is like one of my favorite. That just the lanterns in general, you know, like, and I'm curious to see how much the show is going to talk about, or it feels like end of season thing, but how much they're going to talk about the other Lantern Corps and what they would be leading to, because there's some serious arcs in there that are really like kind of dark. Because even then, you know, like the Red Lanterns are a very interesting group of aliens that are peoples that have been genocide and are like the last of their kind. So they are filled with rage and hate and everything. But it's like when that first starts, they cause some serious damage when they start coming around.
Doesn't Superman have the ability to be a Red Lantern? Oh no, because the Kryptons weren't white. Oh, I guess it depends which canon we're talking about.
I think the only one out of the league that got a ring was Batman.
But that wasn't red.
No, he got green.
Yeah.
And technically a black ring.
Yeah.
Technically. And that too, that's another one, like the Darkest Night, like that'd be it. Like if they're like, you know what, let's just go full zombie mode with it.
And what I really like is that they're gonna do Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart together.
I did see that. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Well, but I would assume that means that John's taking over because Hal is now like promoted when Jon Stewart comes around.
Yes.
So
I think it's kind of like a passing the torch off type thing.
Yeah.
And also kind of feels buddy cop-ish.
Yeah, that's what I am interested in. It just seems I don't know. I just don't know what they're gonna do with it. So I am curious to see where we go with that. Who's in it? Do you remember?
I can see the face of the man playing Hal Jordan.
Nathan Fillion.
No.
Yeah, no. Kyle Chandler.
Yeah, and he's in stuff that I know.
He's one of those faces. Oh, Nathan Fillion is in it.
Yeah, no, because he is.
Yeah, he's Guy.
Yeah.
What's the other one's name? The black-haired guy.
Oh.
The gay one.
I
don't remember what his name is.
Lance Bass?
He's gay, right?
Yeah. I thought Guy was the gay one.
I thought that.
All right, just look up gay lantern. Gay lantern.
Alan Scott. It's like the OG one. Hal Jordan.
That's right.
Guy Gardner. Jon Stewart. Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
That's him. And there's a few other ones that I don't recognize.
Do you want to talk a little bit about Resident Evil before we close out? We are at like 45-ish minutes.
Yeah, we could end on that.
Because you just beat Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, remake.
And
it didn't have what I wanted.
Oh, it didn't have the God mode?
There's a fucking God mode in it. And I was like, God damn, because I really just wanted to play it again and blow through it. But
oh, that's what New Game Plus is for.
Yeah, but you just get... I think I'm going to do it because it did say that also the... merchant has other things for
in New Game Plus. Yeah.
you won't get trophies or anything because if it's like New Game Plus and unassisted and all this stuff, which I was like, I know to hardcore fans out there are like, you pussy. But I don't care because I just wanted to get through the story.
Okay, that's okay. The history of Resident Evil and its gameplay is so interesting because you have the original trilogy that when they came out on the PlayStation, it's that fixed camera angle. It's PlayStation and 64. I think all three were. I know 2 and 3 were on 64. But you have the fixed camera angle thing, and it is actual like survival, like horror, like menu management, item management, puzzles, zombies coming out and startling you. The lickers were freaky as fuck when they were introduced in Resident Evil 2. I know I only played them when I was a kid, really, though. And then Code Veronica still was like in that vein. And then Resident Evil 4 comes out, and that's when the first action-y feel to it comes along. Because now it's third-person shooter, still some horror elements in Resident Evil 4. But 5, hardcore, just called action adventure. 6 tries to meld it all together in a weird way. And then 7 and 8's the reimagining when it goes back to its horror elements. And
yeah, because those two are fucking freaky.
Yeah, and then you have the mixture of that.
Well, now 9
which
is
both.
kind of like more of 4.
It's both.
I don't know. I've just seen you play it. It feels real 4 to me.
Because you only watch me really play as Leon.
No, I've watched you a lot as Grace.
Yeah.
That's how you killed the big baby.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Did I tell you on insane mode that takes 5 of those things?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Oh, or you can lead him to the guy with the fucking, and he can take it out for you.
Oh yeah. But like going back where you were talking about like hardcore people, like because like there is this sense of like Resident Evil of like to get full completion of the game or perfect completion is like to go through the game with no saves and.
I can't imagine doing that.
Well,
I can't imagine playing in like, let's say you just streamline the entire thing. It's 20 hours or what. I know speedrunners can do it like in an hour or whatever. But let's say you're just playing it and it's a 20-hour game with no saves and then permadeath.
Well,
fuck that.
That's the thing is, nowadays when you're doing that, I don't know if insane mode is like you start at the beginning, but as long as you don't manual save, that's how now we're in a time where there's auto saves.
Yeah.
Unless they get rid of that, and then you have to go through the game with no saves. But like in the original games, most of them speedrun 3-4 hours, but you just know exactly you're not using any ammo to really kill the zombies. You're just running past each thing, and it's like, well, there is a licker down here. I need to make sure to kill that in order to get here because it can kill me really quickly. And that's just kind of what it was, for speedrunners. And that's just speedrunner shit,
Mm-hmm.
But they started in Resident Evil 4 a little bit more of that, like with the New Game Plus stuff. Or maybe that was in Resident Evil 5. But now New Game Plus is such a common thing in games. There's reward in doing a New Game Plus, and then there's reward in doing the insane, like, hardcore no save, it's now they've lent into all different type of ways that people like to play the game. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, and there's just certain segments that I would just like to go into like fully stocked, like that beginning village where you're supposed to run out the clock and it's just you going foo, 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 foo,
oh yeah,
forever. I want to go into that just like I'm into kicking ass and chewing bubble gum and I'm all out of bubble gum. I want to do that.
Hell yeah.
That sounds fun,
Well,
and all these things that were scary and everything.
Isn't that part at the beginning? It's an infinite respawn, isn't it? Like you
for them?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it is.
I would think so. But it would be cool if you could.
It's just, to have it just infinite ammo in that moment then.
That would be fun.
Yeah, because otherwise, just like, go into a bunch of ammo and then in 30 seconds, you just blow it all up.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, well, now you're stuck in doing that running circle avoiding thing again.
Yeah. I don't know. But it's like, because you get those points that you can use on like models and stuff like that. But everything that it looks like I'd have to play it on all these hard modes and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like in general, and I know Resident Evil is just like that from the times that we, I played 4, 2, 3. Wow, I've actually played a lot of them. 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. are the ones I played.
Yeah.
So I played 5. And I did play 5 briefly, but I didn't play it. But, you know, you go into these little extras at the end menu, and it's just not enough incentive for me to, like, replay it again to get this one pistol to then play it again with that pistol. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to be a dick, and if that's your bag, that's cool. I'm not shitting on you wanting to do that. I don't fucking get it. But I also don't like banging my head up I'm not a person that likes to bang my head up against a video game to relax. I like to play the fucking game. So the idea of putting anything, it's never going to happen. If there's an easy mode, I'm turning on the easy mode because I have other shit going on in my life and want to just get through this.
Yeah, you just want to play a game. You just want to have fun.
Yeah.
And if it's too easy, I get bored. So I like just a little bit more difficult. But if it is too difficult, or if it feels like it's unattainable to do,
like impossible, like this is crazy. Like,
yeah. I'm like there's been a couple of Silent Hill games that's had like so buggy that I'm like, this is impossible to do.
Yeah.
Like there's literally, I think it's Silent Hill Downpour. No.
I really want to watch that movie again, by the way, randomly.
Silent Hill movie?
Yeah.
We can do that. But I forget which one it was, but there's a Silent Hill game that came out on the PlayStation 3, and I was literally like a level or a mission or whatever, and like an hour of gameplay away from the end game. And I got to a point that was so buggy and I couldn't complete it, and I just gave up and I just watched the end of the game on YouTube. Because I was like, this isn't fun anymore. I'm not having fun.
I'm actively not having fun.
And like, which is going like, and I enjoyed that challenge of Elden Ring where I'm like, takes me like a day of practicing fighting this boss to figure out how to beat this boss, you know. But that's also I'm seeing an improvement each time I'm doing it. You know, you never win. You just get a little bit better each time.
Yeah, and that was like the fun thing about 4 too, is that like you always knew a boss was coming up because you go to the merchant and suddenly he has a rocket launcher.
Yeah,
like, I'll take that. And like the final boss got my ass handed to me, and then I was like, oh yeah, maybe I'll take the rocket launcher. Shot him once with the rocket launcher, and then it felt like, oh, this isn't gonna actually do it. And then it just cut to the death scene, basically, and I was like, oh, all right.
It's really
and then Ada gives you another rocket launcher.
Nice.
That's how you're supposed to finish him off. I was like, oh.
It's interesting that the goofiness in the evolution of Resident Evil.
It is. That is a really funny thing, because especially with 4 and Leon now being the super soldier man, it's weirdly funny. Like for being a survival horror game that's really grotesque and really body horror and mutation.
And it has this weird goofy character.
It's really, he's a real goofy ass goof.
Yeah.
And you're like I said, it's like it's a Japanese studio imagining what like a John McClane type is, you know? And it's like, he's not grounded in any sense of any kind of realism. But
the series, you accept it.
Yeah, because the series itself is kind of in a weird realm.
But the first 4 technical games, you know, Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, and Code Veronica, I guess there is this like weird, like it's you know, zombies obviously, so you got to you know, your suspension of disbelief, you know, is already got to be out there. And then your Mr. X and your Nemesis, but it's something, there's more like monstrous, and your characters.
Well, even Mr. X is kind of goofy too.
Yeah, but there's a like a looming nature about it where you're running away, like you're trying to escape from him. You know, that's scary. You know?
But it's like they dressed him up in a black trench coat and a hat.
Yeah.
And you get an achievement if you shoot the hat off. You know what I mean?
Well, that's in RE2. I'm talking about the remake in the OG.
Yeah.
I'm going back and like how the evolution before we have all these remakes. The first 4 games are so much more like survival horror, and the goofiness is kind of there, but it isn't until Resident Evil 4 where like superhero Leon Kennedy comes out, and you're like, where did this go? And then they fucking nail in the coffin with Resident Evil 5, Chris Redfield punching a boulder and it exploding.
I saw a video of like Umbrella and all these companies are trying to do all these, you know, human experiments with viruses and parasites and fungus and all this kind of stuff. And he goes, why aren't you just cloning these fucking clowns?
Right? The ones that are stopping you the entire time?
Yeah, like this dude could punch through rocks and shit. Clone these guys. Like that, there's your next superhero serum.
Yeah.
These two.
And like, it's just interesting how it got so off the rails. And, that's why people, Resident Evil 6 is just such a bloated mess.
I really want to play that one. I really, 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 really want to play that one.
Go for it.
The more I read about it.
I don't think it's ever going to get remade. Actually, it might be.
What is it on? PS3?
PS4, maybe. It's either late PS3 or early PS4.
Have you ever seen a copy of that?
It might be available to stream.
Maybe.
I mean, we can look it up later.
Yeah.
But yeah. But they did that hard reset with Biohazard.
Well, yeah, because even the beginning of Biohazard is very
it's
scary.
It's
like
Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, terrifying. And they wanted to go back to their horror roots.
It's $5.
It's $5
on PlayStation.
Is it PS4?
Yeah, it's PS4.
Yeah.
Released this month, a couple of days ago, 2016. Funny.
10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago. Ooh.
What?
I don't know. It looks rough.
Yeah. There's
a
reason why it's $5 fucking dollars.
Fuck it. Yeah, dude. Let's go. It's just everything I've read about it. This seems like, but I'm also that guy too. I like the weirdest, like Far Cry 4 or whatever it is. And everyone's like, that's the worst one. I'm like, that's the most fun. That is the most fun I've ever had in a Far Cry game. Objectively, that one's great. Everyone's like, you're out of your mind. I'm like,
And what I really like with Resident Evil 9 is how well they were able to blend that 7 and 8 survival horror feeling with the action hero-ness that Leon had in that third-person action adventure, like shoot 'em up game.
I'm realizing now that you also said you never played 4, right?
No.
You play as Ashley a lot, and I think that... So, like, in 9, is it pretty 50-50? Or do you play as Grace more or Leon?
It's pretty 50-50.
So, 4 is very Leon heavy, but there are moments where you play as...
And as Ashley, and people have always complained about that being the worst part of the game.
No. Well, the reason that I say it's the worst part of the game, quote unquote, for those listening, is because you start off so Leon heavy that it does kind of come to a screeching halt when you have to play as Ashley, because you haven't been playing that way. You haven't been playing the sneaking around and avoiding thing. So it does make it kind of have this like kind of stall out moment, because you're like, oh, but if you know Resident Evil, then it's like, oh, okay, so this is kind of what we were doing games prior. So the switch shouldn't really be that hard. But it's like, there's all these like parasites in like knight's armor that like come alive and then start, Mr. Xing you and, like following you around and shit. And that was the most tense of the game.
Was it kind of like the dolls in the DLC?
Yeah. But it's like, because I think that's what it is. It takes away your power.
Yeah.
Because you were Leon, you had all these guns, you've worked to get all these upgrades and all this stuff, and then suddenly they just strip it down. And it's like, well, yeah, but this again is a survival horror game. That isn't that why we're playing it, to get this
it's like
of
RE4 kind of steps away from this. Yeah, adding that sort of horror element back into it. But it's really great with RE9, and does the perfect balance of it, because they introduce you as Grace, and you get that third-person survival horror, like tense atmosphere. And then she gets kidnapped, and then you play as Leon, trying to follow, Grace getting kidnapped and whatnot. And it's just like a short little down the street. You get the taste of Leon, pow, 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 roundhouse kick the zombie across the street, and then, axe it in the head, superhero Leon Kennedy. And it's just very short, maybe a 3-minute, 5-minute sequence. And then you go back to Grace, and then you get introduced to the main mansion, like your first main big mission. And you play a good portion of it with her, and then you go back to Leon, and it's him going to this mansion, and then you play a quick little horde mission with a chainsaw, doctors and whatnot, and you'll back to Grace for then a bigger chunk of it, to you escaping out of the mansion, and then it's the helicopter, the end of the helicopter. And then you go back to Leon, and that's when you saw me do that whole on the rooftops with this sniper, and then that like horde of things coming in, and that's I think the last time you play as Leon until you finish kind of Grace's chapter.
It kind of from that what you're describing too is very it's so much like RE4 from what it sounds like. Even there's a sniper thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
like there's just
like there's the really weird rinse and repeat of Leon.
Yeah,
but then once you finish Grace's chapter and then you start playing as Leon, then it unlocks Leon's game. Now every zombie you kill, you get credits to upgrade your weapons. You can buy the weapons from the crate. It's a lot more of that action packed thing of RE4 of Leon, but you still get like 2 or 3 little mini moments as Grace with the survival horror stuff, kind of like how at the beginning of the game you had those mini moments as Leon.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a fucking perfect balance of like 2 different styles of gameplay in 2 different games in one game. That's still, in my opinion, a little too short. Yeah, I want just a little bit more.
Yeah, that's just every RE game. I mean, I guess that's also why they make it so replayable.
Yeah,
is because they know they're short, and that's why they want to give you these little carrots.
Oh, and at the end of RE9, you have a choice of bad choice, wrong choice, or good choice, bad choice type thing, and when you make one of your choices, and then whatever when you finish it, and when the credits are done rolling, it automatically brings up a menu like, would you like to go to the moment before your choice so you can make the other choice just to see?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very, you can tell me off mic. I'm very curious what that is.
What the choice is? It like, wait, sure. We'll talk off mic. Yeah,
spoiler.
We are also like at an hour 5 right now. We could probably wrap this up.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah. And we ended up talking a lot longer than I was expecting.
Same.
We covered a lot of stuff though.
Yeah. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook to see all of our promos on what's coming up. We got to figure out what we're doing next week for movies.
What about office related stuff?
Office?
Like people in offices.
Why?
I want to watch the Belko Experiment.
Okay. But yeah, follow us, share with your friends. I think that's everything. This is Tommy.
This is Jacob. This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape. Later, guys.